welcome to Outlier Show. Your host Rizwan Rashid is here with another episode with a powerful leader who is going to really mesmerize you. Yes, and I love one of his quotes because it just align with our word and with our show. And he says, "An opportunity is only an opportunity unless you seized it." And that's how I'm going to describe him. He is a decorated retired U.S. Marine with more than 3 decades of service, a leader who led thousands of men and women in and out of combat, a true leader serving others. And he was also part of a million-dollar corporation, gained lifelong experience, expertise, and exposure that led him to start a new avenue, the function which is called Elite Justice Success Group. And this group, an organization helping individuals and business achieve success through shifting mindset toward their true goals and their true dreams. And I wanted to announce he is an amazing inspirational speaker, trainer, consultant for corporation and countries. Yes, countries, because he's working with the United Nations. His inspirational leadership program is something amazing that attracts me for years. And now I'm so glad, I'm so honored to have him right here on this show. Veney Cochran. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Rizwan. It is a pleasure and an honor to be here, on your amazing platform, Outliers. I'm just excited to be here.
Winnie, it's all excitement and honor is mine because with 30 years of dedicated service as a Marine and leader of the people, you have packed with knowledge and wisdom and leadership what other people is looking for. And I call you right off the back. You're an outlier. I know because you are been living on the outskirts of human potential, doing something amazing. Let me start you for the benefit of our viewers. How do you describe yourself as an outlier?
Well, that's a great question, Rizwan. And I've got to say, when you really look at I think the definition of an outlier, like you said, someone who is, a little bit different, a little bit outside the box from everyone else. In some ways, I feel like that, but in some ways, because I do feel like I'm so much like the average person, but my upbringing, I come from a place called South Jamaica, Queens in New York City, a very rough neighborhood. Unfortunately, I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, when the drug pandemic was sweeping, New York City. And it was just, a hard environment to grow up in. I was a very small kid. I was a very, quiet kid, a very shy kid. And I never thought of myself as being someone who would ever be out front or even looked at as a leader. And then I had an eighth grade guidance counselor once told me that she saw something in me and she believed that when I grew up, her thoughts was I was going to be someone of influence. And I had no idea what she was talking about because, again, I kind of stayed in the shadows behind everyone, never really tapped into what I considered my true potential. But when she said that, it had me start thinking. And she also told me that, she felt that when I spoke, people actually listened. And again, here I was, that quiet, shy individual, and some circumstances because of the rough neighborhood I was in, right after high school, I was the victim of a drive-by shooting. And that's what really led me into the decision to join the military. So I just needed to get away from New York and have an opportunity to do something else and get out of the environment that I was in. And no way in the world would I have guessed that commitment to joining the military would have completely changed my life, the way I think, the way people see and react to me, which has led to me, again, starting my company with my wife, the Elite Justice Success Group. We have a publishing company. I've written 2 books already, working on my third. It's just been an amazing ride. And we just launched, a new course, which is S.W.A.G, which is Succeeding with the Goal. And, none of these things would have been possible had I not seized that opportunity to actually get out of New York when I actually, decided to do that. So as you mentioned, an opportunity is only an opportunity when you seize the opportunity. And I'm thankful that I was able to walk into that recruiting station, and be recruited into the United States Marine Corps.
Wow. Wow. You sum it up, but 30 years of experience in so, I would say, humble way and gravity that although you said it's so less, but to me, it's a world out there. You must have gone through all those things, but I love the word. The word you use is opportunity, that you capitalize on that opportunity, you seize that opportunity, and that turned around everything for you at that time. And I know you said tough neighborhood, you were in drive-by shooting, oh my God, and then you survived and you started something new. At that time, you knew this is going to be a life-changing, or you just got into this and give your wholehearted?
Yes, when I left New York to join the Marine Corps, my goal at the time was I just wanted to join the military for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to go back to New York and become a New York City police officer.
Okay.
I guess you can say I started liking the Marine Corps a lot more. So when my 4 years was up, I decided to re-enlist. And again, I did not know that time in the military would drastically change my life and afford me the opportunities that I've had since then. But, had it not been for me joining, I know I would have never had the opportunities, but I didn't know it at that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Vinny. Now, a lot of people will ask you this because once you get into the army, they have their regimented style, and you got into this rhythm of learning and growing within there. But at the moment when you realize this is their opportunity, I can get away from New York, I can get away from this life, and I can start a new one. What was the first thing you did? Because everybody has this opportunity. They keep looking around them, but they don't have the courage to step out and do what is required. But you did it. So what was the first thing you did?
Well, I've got to say, once I went through my basic training at recruit training and got into what we considered the fleet in the Marine Corps, I was really just concerned with learning my job at the time. And my job was in communications. So again, I think it was fate that, number one, I joined the military, then got into a field of communications, again, for an individual who was, again, in my opinion, was a very shy and quiet individual. And of course, in the military, as you progress in rank, and I was very fortunate to achieve the highest rank in the Marine Corps on the enlisted side. As you progress, you are given more leadership opportunities. That word again, opportunities. And that affords you the opportunity to, number one, take all the things that you've learned and all the experiences you've had and be able to pass that information, that knowledge on to other individuals. And again, it took me a while to realize that it was really my calling to be able to educate, teach, and train other individuals. And once I figured out that it was my actual calling is when I really started diving into taking it to the next level.
Here you go. This is the pivotal point you mentioned. And I love it because when we kind of get awareness of our calling, we make changes. Now, one last question before we go on a break. I wanted to ask you, and this is what most people wanted to know. You got an opportunity, you got into this, you knew this was your calling. Now, you open up new, you went into different corporation, you went into learn more, you led more people, because there's thousands of people who go to Marine Corps, but there is only one Vinny who actually did a whole different way. How did this new doors or more doors of opportunity open for you?
Well, I've got to say, I can almost remember it like it was yesterday. I was about in my 6th year in the military, and a friend of mine asked me to come to a meeting to see a presentation, which I realized then it was network marketing. And I got involved in a marketing company years and years and years ago. And although I didn't make any money in that particular company, what I learned is about personal development. So from there, I just started pouring into myself and investing in myself. And the other thing I learned in that company was how to dream bigger, how to look at and see that there is so much more to life that we're just not aware of that we can have if we only put those visions in our mind. So, that biggest opportunity was in network marketing. When I got to see the bigger picture of how if I invested in myself, I would be able to accomplish anything that I wanted to.
Lovely. This is Veney Cochran, retired and a decorated veteran who believed in seizing the opportunity. And then he went on in personal development, led thousands of people, and then from all this experience and expertise, he started Elite Justice Success Group, helping thousands of people, individuals, and corporations in changing their mindset by aligning toward their goals and dreams. Veney Cochran, and an amazing talk happening. We're going to take a short break and we're going to come back and we're going to ask him what he's doing now. He already gave you a little bit of this about his S.W.A.G program succeeding with a goal and his publishing company, but we're going to ask him how we, me and you, can connect with him so we can learn a little bit more. Stay tuned. Outlier Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Outlier Show. Your host Rizwan Rashid and my guest Veney Cochran, a veteran and an amazing leadership who's helping not only corporations, individuals, but companies by one of his program called Elite Justice Success Group. And I'm going to ask him because he just shared his life experience, how he got into the military, learned all his way, and this leadership skill is helping thousands of people. Veney, I'm going to ask you this, that when did you start seeing success? When did you start seeing success outside of military in your business world?
Well, it was probably a year later. I retired in May of 2016. And, I decided I knew I wasn't going to work for anyone else once I retired. My pay was set up. I'm very comfortable with what I was being paid. But a good friend of mine, Dr. Obam Bowen, sat down with me and we talked about my experiences in the military. And that led to my wife and I, who is also a retired Marine who served 23 years. We decided to launch that company, Elite Justice Success Group, because we simply wanted to be able to help other individuals achieve some of the things they wanted to, whether it was while they were still in the military or the individuals who were leaving the military, and being able to make sure that they could have that transition be somewhat seamless. So we started that. It was really an immediate success because we had, some individuals that, looked to us for advice. We were able to provide them sound advice, a sound plan of attack for them to achieve the things that they wanted to achieve. And then we figured we can take it to another level. So, I got into inspirational speaking in schools, speaking at different events. And, before long, individuals knew who I was, what I was about, and they started reaching out to me to be able to speak. So, it was, I want to say, instant success, but it came pretty quick once we realized, that the information that we had within us together was something that individuals were actually seeking.
I love Dr. O, a great friend of yours and mine. But folks, if you're listening to us, you are actually finding out that this leader is not afraid of stepping out of comfort zone. This leader is not afraid is going into an uncharted territory and then capturing that. I think that's a virtue you have learned in the military, because from there you went into public speaking and now training people. That must have been kind of a scary at first. Do you think?
I wouldn't say necessarily scary. It was different because And what I didn't realize is, as a senior leader in the military, I was always up front speaking to, crowds of hundreds and thousands of individuals. But of course, when you're out in the what they call the real world, in the civilian world, you have to be able to relate to people in a different way. And I found that actually came very natural to me.
Yeah.
So to get out there, it wasn't scary. I just had to get used to shedding that 30 years of how I communicated in the military and be able to communicate with people who weren't in the military.
I bet, I bet. But that was kind of a question that was most of the people asked, that you are really good in one and then hard to maneuver and pivot. But I think you have an amazing personality to change and adopt to new situation, new ideas, and new systems. And I believe you put yourself into new opportunities. And I'm looking at the succeeding with a goal, and I love the name swag of it. How do you put yourself in front of more opportunities and you add more people, client, corporation into it?
Well, I believe it's all about providing as much value as I can right up front. And that's what I want people to understand is, part of our company swag, again, as you said, succeeding with the goal, is about helping individuals, number one, identify what their gifts are so that they can then hone in on those gifts and ultimately come up with a plan, a set of goals that they can achieve by mapping out the way that they're going to do it. But if an individual doesn't really understand who they are or what they have to offer, 9 times out of 10, I believe they're chasing someone else's goals instead of chasing their own goals. So we try to get them to go back in their lives when they really had a vision of what they wanted to be, which is normally when they were younger. And we let them tap back into that time in their lives and come up with a plan for them. And it's been very successful. It has been very successful.
Lovely, lovely. So help our audience understand how this swag works for individual or for corporation. You probably have a lot of success stories. You may share one with us.
Well, it works differently for each and every person, whether it's an individual or if we're going into a business. But at the very beginning, we have to make sure that the individual has to know what it is that they want. Mm-hmm. And once they figure out that, then we can help them, whether it's, again, an individual or a company, we can help them lay out what I consider the master plan to help them get there. And we do that by going through 3 steps, or what I consider 3 main points of my book, The Leader in You, which is having them understand what their mindset is, what their beliefs are, and what their true attitude is. I call it getting your MBA in life, your mindset, your belief, and your attitude. And once you truly understand those things, individuals can then pivot to where it is they want to go with intention. And that's what it's really about. And we've had, some individuals who we've been able to coach, whether it was in the military or outside of the military, who in short periods of time had went from not having any idea of what they wanted or what they believed their gifts and their talents was, to being able to start writing on their first books. I have 3 different individuals who are working on their first books right now through our publishing company. And it's all something that they thought about doing years ago, but really didn't know what steps to take in order to make it happen. And we kind of just lay it all out there for an individual. Once they realize what they want, it's really easy, I think, to come up with a plan of attack of how we're going to get you there.
Wow. That was a mic drop moment, Veney. That MBA, mindset, belief, and attitude. And with that, you are helping people in order to open up the new horizon, new opportunities, and new ways of thinking and acting on it. And share with us, because I know you are also part of a bigger group that is helping now countries with a bigger group in terms of helping them into leadership with the training and consulting.
Yes, I'm working on another project with a group of amazing individuals all around the world, really, on a world civility book. And civility is something that I believe, in order for any country, any state, any person to be successful, we all need to learn how to be civil towards one another. And with this book, that's, really being put together by, two amazing individuals, Ambassador Dr. Clyde Rivers and someone you know very well,
Yes.
Dr. Raymond Harlaw. These individuals are able to gather a group of us together, have us all come up with a specific topic that we want to share with the world, that we can help individuals, be able to be civil to one another in order to improve their lives and the lives of individuals in their countries. And this is something that's going global. It's a book that is primarily designed to be put in the hands of world leaders. And that's why it's something I'm very proud to be a part of. It's been an amazing journey. We're looking at hopefully having that book out within, the next month or two, so that we can, really get our information out there. And my particular topic that I talk about is transitional leadership, being able to transition from one point of your life into the next area of your life without the stresses that most people have to go through.
Wow. Folks, if you are listening to this, a guy from New York in the tough neighborhood transforming countries, that's possible. And it's only possible if you seize the opportunity. And I'm listening to him. I mean, he just dropped so many golden nuggets that I was like, trying to pick up a lot of things. And as he's talking about the transitional mindset in the head of countries and developing a program that's going to change the fate of countries, I was shivering. Goosebump is happening. Veney, you're an amazing. You're the powerhouse impacting people at so many different levels. A lot of people will be, and I'm sure a lot of people, including me, will be interested in getting into this S.W.A.G program or S.W.A.G, this contest or program, how we can get into it.
Well, all an individual has to do is they can go directly to my website, theveneycochran.com. They'll be able to set up an appointment with me on my calendar on the website. They can also order my book there. They can see where, when we're going to have our next weekend session where we get individuals together, and as a group, we collectively help individuals work through their ideas and their goals that they want to achieve. And we're right now in the middle of setting up an online version of this that individuals will be able to purchase the course online, which will be a series of videos that my wife and I will do. And then we'll meet with individuals once a week on a live Zoom to help go through it. So although it's a course that my wife and I are putting together, by combining it in a group, we also get the benefit of other individuals tapping into their leadership qualities and helping other individuals along their journeys as well. And that could be very beneficial to them.
Lovely. So, folks, don't wait. Go to www.theveneycochran.com. You will be able to see right here on the screen right now. And if you go over there, you will be able to book a time in order to understand where your strengths are, what your dreams are, where is your attitude is, and how you're going to get this MBA with Veney Cochran, helping individuals and corporations going to the next step. Wayne, this is amazing. Now, as a trainer, as a consultant, and the speaker, who do you like the most to be your students, your people who you associate with? Who do you find the best people who can work with you?
That's a great question, Rizwan. And I've got to tell you, I think my ideal individuals are the young and mid teenagers, all the way up to the individuals that I think are about 30, 35-ish. I guess they call those the millennials.
Yeah.
And that's really the ideal group of individuals for a couple reasons. And the main one is, the youth that we have out there right now, they're a very small percentage of what makes up the world. However, they are 100% of the future of the world. So if we don't get these particular individuals to start, I believe, changing how they think and the way that they look at the world, then the world is not going to be the place that we want our children and grandchildren to grow up and live in. So my focus is on the younger generation so that they can make the future for my grandchildren that I hope to have soon, to be able to live as prosperous as they can without all the negativity that we unfortunately see right now.
What a kind-hearted you are, Vinny, because when you're giving this age group, you are really helping people changing their mindset who have the ability, willingness, and time to change their life and impacting their lives and lives of many. You know, Vinny, I truly believe that you have met your calling. You are right on track and you're going to impact so many people. I'm sure you have met the people who are in the military still probably still remember you and still looking for your advice and connecting with you. You already inspired us because when you really go back from the history, what you have mentioned, from tough neighborhood New York, one opportunity, 4 years going into, and spent 30 years by looking at it and leading people, and now continuously helping other people. It's just a night and day, like so much difference. You have done it and you're making other people do it. This is such an inspiration. But the format of my show is to ask my guest to leave with an inspirational message that people will connect.
And I guess my inspirational thought would be, see your future as you want it to be seen. We all, I believe, have a predetermined destiny, but it's truly up to us on how we get to that end point. We can take the long road and still end up getting there with all the hardships, or we can truly visualize what we want. And when we visualize, we get to see all the opportunities that have always been there for us. Because I do believe that, we miss so many opportunities simply because we don't see them. If we really start focusing on what it is that we want, having a true vision of what we want, then the opportunities that we need to get us to where we want to go will be right in front of us each and every day. So, visualize what it is you want, stay happy, stay motivated. I have a saying, that two main things that I believe a person absolutely needs to have in order to have any success is, number one, they need to be motivated every day that they wake up, motivated to do the things that they want to do. And number two, life is all about having fun. You need to wake up with a smile on your face. And I say, go to sleep with a smile on your face, because if you are not motivated and you are not having fun, it's your own damn fault.
And that's a mic drop for me. This is the best way. If you are not motivated and not having fun, it's your own damn fault. This is Veney Cochran, my guest on the Outlier, and you are an outlier, Veney, because you have transformed so many people's lives, and this is what Outliers doing. You're watching Outlier Show. Your host Rizwan, Rashid, and my amazing guest Veney Cochran. Be sure to check out his website www.theveneycochran.com, where you will be able to connect with him, seek out his advice, look for his leadership golden nuggets, and try to get into the S.W.A.G, because this is where you're gonna find doing the MBA, which you're not finding on the universities, but right here in a quick format, you will be able to change your mindset, your belief, and your attitude moving towards your goals and dreams. Signing it off with one more time his quotation: if you are not motivated, if you are not having fun, it's your damn fault. You are an outlier. Go seize the opportunity. Have a good night.